Ruffled Vegetable Biryani. Okay, so if you are a biryani purist, you might want to look away now because this is not your typical preparation of biryani. This is a FILO pastry topped, beautifully layered up vegetable biryani. I've always thought that if somebody takes the time out of their day to prepare a biryani in your honour, then you truly hold a special place in their hearts, because biryani is not something that takes 30 minutes. It's not one of those quick slapdash meals that you put together after work or on a busy day. It's something that requires patience and that there's a process to. So today I'm going to try and simplify that for you as much as I can, as well as show you my very special technique for creating a biryani that has that wow factor. You can find a full list of ingredients you'll need for this biryani masala in the description box below. And yeah, of course you can use a shop bought one, but here's a blend that's fresh and you know what's in it. Warm a frying pan over a low heat. We want to toast these spices low and slow to draw out some of those lovely aromatic oils inside. Add whole cassia bark, some whole black cardamom, dried bay leaves, some blades of mace, dried red chilies, black peppercorns, cloves, green cardamom, whole coriander seeds, cumin seeds, carom seeds, and rose petals for a beautiful floral finish. Give these all a good shake and let them toast for around a minute. In my plate I have ginger powder, garlic powder, turmeric, salt and sugar. I didn't want my dry spices to burn, so I'm adding them in at this later stage. Keep everything moving the whole time you're cooking so that nothing scorches at the bottom of the pan. It shouldn't take any longer than 2 minutes. Once this is all toasty and aromatic, allow it to cool. Pile everything into a spice grinder or coffee grinder and give it a good whiz up. Give it a few stirs here and there to make sure that everything is getting some blade time. Store your knockout biryani masala in an airtight jar. This will be good for at least 6 months, but you'll probably use it before then. My recipe makes about 75 grams, which is enough to make biryani for 6 people 3 times, give or take. You can find a full list of ingredients you'll need for this biryani in the description box below. Okay, so let's start by washing some long grain basmati rice in cold water. Change the water 2 to 3 times to clean the rice and remove some excess starch. Soak the rice in cold water for a minimum of 1 hour. This will help soften the grains up. In a separate bowl, mix together some saffron and warm milk. Bring a large pot of water to the boil. Add salt, a stick of cassia bark or cinnamon, some cardamom, cloves, and dried rose petals, the latter being optional. Drain the soaking water from the rice and add it to the pot. Boil the rice for about 6 to 8 minutes or until it's about 80% of the way cooked. Think al dente. It should break between your fingers when it's cooked, not smush. Drain the rice and set it aside. And look how lovely and separate these grains of rice are. This is really important when making biryani because we're going to cook the rice for a second time when it's layered up with all of the vegetables. So if we overcook it at this stage, it's going to turn to complete mush by the end of it. Throw some ghee into a pan and let it melt. You can use oil too. Add some whole cumin seeds and tomato puree. That is, if, unlike me, you can actually get it off the spoon. Cashew nuts are optional, but so good. Now add in lots of biryani masala. If you want to know how I make it, check the link in the description box below. Add some plain yogurt and stir well. Cook the mixture, stirring all the time for about 2 to 3 minutes. You'll know it's done when the oil starts to separate from the paste. Okay, so it's time to add our veggies. You can use whatever you like, but I'm using fried potatoes, boiled carrots, fried cauliflower, a handful of frozen peas, some peppers, fried paneer, which is not a vegetable, and some crispy fried onions, which are very important as well as very delicious in any biryani recipe. Just a little splash of water. Cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes and then switch the heat off. To build the biryani, grease a large springform tin with oil, including the sides. I'm using a springform tin for easy release later on, but you can just as easily use any kind of baking tray, pie dish, or cake tin. Add a layer of cooked rice to the tin, about 1/3 of it. I always start with rice because the crispy bit at the bottom is the best. Add half of the vegetable mixture, some more of those fried onions, mint leaves, and fresh coriander leaves. Repeat this layering process one more time. You can flatten it down very slightly, but don't press it too hard. We don't want this to become a biryani cake. Drizzle over the saffron milk mixture. You can at this point add some rose water or kera if you like. My homemade biryani masala is already quite fragrant with some rose petals in there, so I didn't add any extra to this. Right, so now this is where the magic happens, and this is what sets this veg biryani apart from all of the others. You'll need some FILO pastry. I use shop bought. Take one sheet of the pastry and set it out on the board in front of you. Cover the rest with a damp tea towel just so that it doesn't dry out. Brush your sheet of pastry very generously with butter. Don't skim on the butter in this recipe, guys, it's really important. Scrunch the pastry up into a rough concertina-ish shape and then twist it into a rosette, just like this. You don't have to be super neat. And then just pop it on top of the biryani. Repeat this for the rest of the FILO pastry sheets. Things are about to get really buttery. Brush the tops of the pastry with, yes, more butter, you guessed it, because you can never have too much butter when it comes to FILO pastry. Bake this in a preheated oven at 180 degrees centigrade, that's 350 degrees Fahrenheit, for 40 to 45 minutes, or until it's beautifully golden on top. And there we go, there is your new favourite dinner party showpiece that is ideal for vegetarians. Scatter over some fresh mint leaves and extra dried rose petals if you're feeling fancy. Take this beautifully golden, crispy, FILO-topped vegetable biryani to the table and watch everyone fight over those buttery pastry ruffles.